Ravi, we just heard a lot about cloud computing, mobile, big data, social, virtualization. So there are a lot of new technologies coming. Which one do you think is the most important one for CIOs? Is it like a race between technologies?
It's actually interesting, Karim, that you ask, because if you really think about it, all these are coming together to help the problem to be solved, right? And the reason I say that is, if you talk about the cloud, it is not happening on its own. There is data, there is convergence. I mean, mobility, when you talk about it, when you and I are working from our phones and we're trying to get our work done, the data is being transmitted, it's probably going to a cloud somewhere, and that cloud probably has a big data machine where everything is being collected, and that's probably being virtualized. My point is these different technologies are coming together to help streamline and solve the common business issues that most of the customers face today.
So it seems this is the first time we have a new wave of technologies coming to help the companies create some value.
Yes.
How the data center of the future will look like?
Actually, the data center of the future, I think, is actually the confluence of three S's, which are the server, the storage, and the software coming together to help create the big S, which is basically the solution. Because the technology by itself has no value. Value is in providing a solution that the customers can then go in turn provide it to their customers, right? So the data center of the future really has the various technologies we talked about and the enabling elements, whether it is server or storage or software, to go make that happen. So it's really a very seamless story, all coming to help our customers deal with attracting their customers and holding on to whatever the value prop that they provide.
Because you were referring to technologies, there is this huge data explosion right now. If you look at, for instance, the America's Cup, the Oracle boat had, 300 sensors and captures getting data. My question, and the question I hear from customers is, are the technology really ready to get some value out of this data explosion? Or is it something we're going to just store somewhere?
Actually, Karim, there's some customers who are beginning to do it efficiently. You're right. I mean, if you look at the America's Cup, the boat did have 300 plus sensors, and there was a lot of analytics going on. And there are customers who are actually using that kind of data capture and analytics. So it really, I look at it as three different phases, right? There's a phase where you're collecting all the data, whether it is smart meters, whether it is your Twitter feeds, your social media. And then the second phase is where you're trying to go ahead and analyze this and understand what's the impact, what's happening. And it truly then transforms into some kind of information, because the data by itself has no value. It is the real information that people can act on. So there are technologies in play, and there are also new methodologies being put in place. A thing called Hadoop never really existed 10 years ago, if you think about it, right? So there is an evolving stream to go get some of these out in the open, but more importantly, I think it all needs to be streamlined. And if anything, that's one thing we urge our customers, is to start looking at data, not for the sake of collection of data, but to see if we can make it the gem that is, which is the information.
For the people who are watching us, do you have a couple of example industries in mind which are a little bit more advanced than others?
I think there are a couple of industries where I think people are in the forefront. I can think of the finance industry. Think about this, when you look at the banking industry, right? Most of us had to go into the bank to go out and do deposits, or if you need to do a transaction. Now you and I can sit here on our smartphones, go ahead and do the transaction. Again, so if you think about this, there has been a transformation that's happened. The transformation that has happened to a couple of things you talked about earlier, which is mobility, cloud, and it also connects to the whole data center that's supporting it. So most of the industries, like the finance industry, the telcos, are in the forefront. There are other industries, and now some of the governmental agencies are getting in to become more efficient, because from where I come from, in the US right now, there are a lot of cutbacks. There is a lot of savings that the banks are looking for, or the governmental agencies are looking for, that we need to go back and see how we can go garnish and help the customer get to those. So there are certainly industries which are getting out there, trying to streamline their whole process and get the best efficiency out.
So as a consumer, I can expect that tomorrow my bank will offer me a better service.
You have to. If you're not going to get the service you want, Karim, you would go to a different competitor, right? So the thing is, if we are not there catering to the needs of the customer, somebody else is going to come and do it. So it's in our own interest to go ahead and make sure that we have the best technologies and the best processes to go help that customer meet their needs.